Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading room. Earth Day. Is that a Hallmark holiday? No, I don't think it is. I don't think you get any cards for Earth Day. All right, hang on a second here. I trust everyone had an enjoyable long weekend. Why do the weekends always seem so short? All right, here we go with the NASDAQ. Let me give you a quick overview. I'll pull the daily chart over here. And you can see for the last, really the last month since the beginning of April, even before then, the market's rather subdued. We've had some very small ranges. It's not to say there haven't been opportunities, but the ranges themselves quite small and narrow. And we are flinching a little bit here. If I scroll back to the contract highs, you're going to see there's some pretty familiar numbers where we are at right now. And you can see the market reacting as we get closer toward that 7,800 region. Volume up a little bit on these tiny bars, which pointed out to you before can be a little bit of a concern. Volume is a relative indicator, so you tend to see big volume on big bars, small volume on small bars. Taking a look here on the Eagle, you can see where we left off here on Friday. Left off at around the 77.15 zone, and we're opening actually fairly low, opening around 76.80. We do have a bit of an upside gap here. So I might favor the market trying to fill part of that gap at least. Thursday and Friday's, actually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday session last week, the market really not going anywhere. We retraced a lot of the same numbers. And right now, the 76.70 zone, we're bouncing off some familiar numbers. Those were lows or near coinciding lows for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right, well, no point in rushing into anything. A little bit of a soft start for a Monday. Here on the Raptor, I don't know if I want to draw my trend line this way or this way. Probably should stay with the shallower trend line, maybe. The trend line helpful if this is turning out to be a bear flag. The Bollinger is already a little bit bearish. Nice little green bar sell here off the hard edge. Oops, I think I waited too long. I was just about to pull up that green bar sell. And the market made a little bit of a quick hop lower. This should be close to that trend line now. Oh yeah, look at that, right on the number. So I suppose we could use that as a second push opportunity, using this bar right now, this one right here. as our signal bar. We would be getting in a little bit late. What time is it? Oh gosh, we're only 6 minutes into the session. Do I really think they're going to violate the current lows and head lower? Well, it's possible. We did breach this swing high. Normally when you breach a swing high or low, the stronger the swing high or low, the more significant the breach. Once we see a break of a swing high or low, there does tend to be two moves in the direction of the breakout. The breakout being move number one. See, now we're coming back with a rule of three, or possible rule of three. So we've had a test of the extreme. Here's counter trend signal number one. This is counter trend signal number two. With the rule of three, we tend to see three counter trend signals. And this would also encourage the market to try to fill that opening range gap. Which I think I might feel a little better about. I'll tell you in a couple of minutes here. There we go. Poking above the little resistance zone here. You can see my profit target actually set here at the next swing, but we could try to trade it back here to the primary support zone. That would pretty much put us, well, at least filling half of the opening gap. I'll continue to manage it from the eagle. Come on. Wow, another sluggish day. This bar here has a little bit of a tail on it. I'm going to roll my stop a little bit. I'm trying not to be too quick with my stop here. In fact, I may give it to the ATR, this squiggly red line. You see, when a market is changing direction, it's like a big old 18-wheeler trying to turn around. It needs some room. Well, I hope you're right, Joe. Watching the support and resistance suite here, he says we're bouncing off of Friday's midline. Should go back to today's midline. That would be a very strong move. Let's take a look here where today's midline is on the support and resistance suite. So primary support here at 77.03, 77.15 3/4. Wouldn't that be a nice move? A lot of people like to use the support and resistance suite that way as profit targets. I tend to do that myself. You're wondering where to place a profit objective? Well, take a look at your support and resistance suite. Well, I'm not really impressed here. I hate wandering markets. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All right, there we go. Getting a little bit of a swing. Getting some signals coinciding here. We had the trend change signal here on the Falcon and an early number one signal at the same time we entered our rule of three signal here on the Eagle. All right, I'm going to just sneak that up there now to break even. Nope, not yet. And it could well be that I was just a little bit too quick with my stops on that. Yeah, Joe says watch 76.95. Yeah, that could be a little bit of a trouble spot. Ah, nuts. And there they go. Doggone it. Oh, well. You know, I've mentioned this before, but in trading, you learn a lot about yourself. One of those things that I know about myself is that I am not, if I tweak myself out of a trade, it will usually be because I'm too aggressive with my stops. Joe asking what happened to Adam. No more emails from him. No, Adam stepped back from Indicator Warehouse about a year ago now. He's pursuing his master's degree. So you're stuck with me. Nuts. I'm choked now. Usually it doesn't bother me, but darn it, it was an early trade. I had it nailed, and I was just a little bit too quick with my stops. Oh well. At least it wasn't a losing trade. Does that sound like sour grapes? All right, well, we're at a bit of a crossroads again here. As we get closer towards 7,700, you can see we've intersected one of our secondary support lines. It might encourage more selling. We'll see. Yeah, and there they go. They push on through. Would have hit my profit target. Doggone it. Now I'm really upset. Well, no, not really, but such is trading. All right. Well, we're just watching and waiting. You got to pick your moments when you're trading. We are getting some follow-up signals here. I don't know whether or not I want to get on any of those. What's maybe giving me a little bit of pause is the Bollinger Suite, although it has turned a little bit bullish again. I think I'd be more comfortable with a little bit of a pullback and another rally attempt. I think that might be a little easier to get on board. A slight little hesitation here. Again, the closer we get here to 7,700, the more, I don't know, reluctant I am to get on board. Because we've got a relatively big swing high in this zone. We got this one right here. Definitely some early bullishness out of the gate, though. Just waiting on that pullback or something resembling a pullback. Oh, and there they go. They keep pushing higher. So, doggone it. We had that rule of three signal down here. They're not really giving me a second chance to get back in on this trade, which is most annoying. And here we are. We made it all the way to the primary support zone, which would have been a very nice profit target. Oh, I guess here in hindsight, I did have the number one signal. I could have got back on board with that. Oh, well. I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now. Hey, way to go, Joe. Joe says, gave me 175 per contract. Nicely done. Nothing wrong with that. Really, you guys? You're not going to give me a second chance? Well, look at that move. Okay, well, we are definitely bullish here this morning. Yeah, Joe, you may have stumbled onto something here. Joe says, I love those uh, support and resistance midlines from the previous day and today. Yeah, you're definitely right. If we take a look here, it does look as though we might well be tracking to 77.15. And you said we were coming off of yesterday's or Friday's midline. Yeah, sure enough, there it is right there. So a bounce off of yesterday or Friday's midline and heading toward today's midline. All right, this might be the first attempt of a reverse. Sellers stepping up here. The trading band a little bit broad. Whenever the trading band starts to get over 50, 60 ticks here on the Raptor, the market may be more susceptible to a pullback. Wow, and they just developed really quick here. We didn't actually produce a number two signal, but we did get a counter trend signal. I would like to see a little bit of a bounce, and that would confirm a number two signal if we can get it. But right now, everything is just moving so slowly. We're not really getting the structure that we're used to seeing. We're at the first hard edge. We'll see if we get, or what we get for a reaction. Oh, wow. They're not playing very nice here today. Well, we are starting to break down here a little bit. We've got this other hard edge looming. What I'm looking for at this point is I'm looking for another hesitation. So, maybe in hindsight, we can paint a trading range similar to this. We've had a breakout. We're looking at a retest. Once I get a reaction, then I'll have a better idea which way the market may be leaning. So far, I'm certainly much more bullish than I am bearish. But if this next reaction fails to take out the current high, or maybe just takes it out by a tick or two and then reverses, well, then it's very likely that the market will head lower again. Don't forget the pre-market, right? The pre-market was very strong to the short side. But until that happens, I'm kind of on the sidelines. This is what I mean when you'll hear me say I'm waiting for a little bit more structure. Okay, well, there's a little bit of a hiccup here. It's not really strong, but we do have 2 bars going with trend, so you could throw a just in case order to sell below this swing. We do have the hard edge looming, so it could be a little bit dicey. Well, here we are trading in slow motion again. We'll leave the chart trader on here. We've got, well, you can see everything's just kind of going sideways on us here at the moment, which was part of the reason for throwing my just in case order down here. If this latest little uptick fails, well, then there's a pretty good chance the market's going to try to head lower. The lack of momentum, really a little bit of a concern. We're coming off of the hard edge now. Don't have a signal here on the hawk just yet. Working a little bit of a trend change signal here on the falcon. If we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, we could look to buy on the next move higher. See, here we go. We've got the warning dot. We should produce a buy signal should come in somewhere near the primary support zone. Just eyeballing that. And not quite a hard edge bounce here on the Eagle. Honestly, folks, right now, I think I would favor a move lower than a move higher. But I have been wrong before. Well, we're going to get a number one signal here on the Raptor. That's going to coincide with the Falcon signal. All right, here we go. We've got the number one signal. We've got the Bollinger Suite in sync. Let's see what they do here. All right, they brought me in. Now, if I were smart, I would just take profit on target. You could try to stretch here to the median line. Well, it actually produced a number three signal instead of a number one. Regardless, it's still the same type of signal. It's showing you a continuation. Doggone it. Look at that. Just the lack of follow through here. Okay, a little bit of an uptick. If you're anxious with your stops, you can select any of these bars with these tails on them. You could make, certainly if I get two bull bars here, I would be very much in favor of rolling my stops below this bar right here. And in fact, I'm getting a little bit anxious on my trade again. All right, there we go. We'll put the squeeze. There we go. A little bit of a push. Sneak that now to break even below that bar with a little tail to it. Oh, you guys, you're killing me here. Come on. Yay! Well, our patience paid off there a little bit. I tried not to be too quick with my stops this time, given that I was a little too anxious on the first trade. The thing with trading, you have to, it's like a good marriage. You have to have a short memory. You can't dwell on the stuff that you messed up before. Now we're getting a little bit of a pushback again, so that makes me feel a little better about taking my profit on target. This may well turn into a little bit of a double top, in which case, another move lower, not out of the question. What tends to happen when the market has a strong move higher or lower is it's not going to move on indefinitely. It will, make a certain amount of points over the course of the day, and then it will tend to range. Just kind of going back and forth for the remainder of the day. All right, let's put that away for now. I thought we might get a little more out of that. A bit of a drawn out number 2 signal if you wanted, if you were so inclined. You could call this a double top. You could look to short below this signal right here. Look for a quick little move back to the hard edge. It is a riskier trade, again, because the trend is up. You could kind of park that one up there, and your stop loss could be your just in case order to buy. A little bit of a bump there. Just kind of waiting it out. All right, here we go. So this signal here that just printed could also be interpreted as a number 2 signal. A little bit of a pushback now from the hard edge. Counter trend trades, always a nail biter. All right, waiting for that little bit of a pushback from the sellers now. We have broken that downtrend line, so that should encourage some selling, and if it does not, then I will have to get a little bit more serious here with my stops, as the buyers may well try to resume the uptrend. Yeah, here we go. We're getting a number 3 signal. No, it's not looking very promising right now. It's looking as though the sellers are going to pick up pardon me, the buyers are going to pick up the trend. And I will very likely get tagged out here as they make a new high. I don't often reverse on my orders, but I might consider a reverse on this one. So a reverse simply means I get stopped out and I reverse my position. Oh, they're holding just barely. Well, they're thinking about it. If this develops into a triple top, then there is actually a pretty good chance that the market will continue lower here and eventually find my profit target if they don't do a little one-tick breakout. This is usually why I tend to avoid um, the reversals. Come on down. think they're going to tag me out here. All right, gang, I'm going to try to hang on to this trade here. I do have a call that I need to take at the top of the hour. Nope, they're not going to let me out. All right, well, if you're going to continue trading here today, I think you're going to be better off on the buy side, looking for a pullback like this number 3 signal, and avoid the counter trends. You know, counter trends always, always riskier. They are so darn attractive, but oh my goodness, they will end up costing you in the end. All right. So on that note, like I said, I've got a call here at the top of the hour. So let's close up shop here for today. And I will see you again tomorrow. And like I said, you'll probably want to stay bullish today. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.